Hello students, how are you? I hope you all are fine and staying home to keep yourself safe from COVID-19. Students, in the previous module we started chapter water resources and there we discussed about the water existence, water availability on this earth. So ahead to that topic, let us discuss some more points about the water resources. So let us begin students. Now, for the conservation of water resources, for proper use of water resources, we follow the multi-purpose river valley projects and integrated water resource management. But how do we conserve and manage water? Archaeological and historical records show that from ancient times we have been constructing sophisticated hydraulic structures like dams built of stone, rubbles, reservoirs or lakes, embankments, and canals for irrigation. So, for these purposes, the different ways the multipurpose projects are constructed from the ancient time. Not surprisingly, we have continued to this tradition in modern India by building dams in most of our river basin. So that way, as it was in practice from the ancient period only, and now we have a little bit modified and continuing that process. Now think about some hydraulic structure in ancient India. In the 1st century BC, Sringa Varapuram near Allahabad had sophisticated water harvesting system channeling the flood water of river Ganga. So here the picture of that construction is given. So in the ancient time it was in practice to control the flood water. During the time of Chandragupta Maurya, dams, lakes, irrigation systems were extensively built. Here is one example of that period. This lake is existing at present. As you can see, the people are wearing clothes of present time, but the lake is the from the ancient time. Evidences of sophisticated irrigation works have also been found in Kalinga, that is Odisha, Nagarjunakonda, Andhra Pradesh, Bennur, Karnataka, and Kolhapur, Maharashtra. And here one example of Odisha, this Kalinga river. You can see here embankment dam has been created. In the 11th century, Bhopal Lake, one of the largest artificial lake of its time, was built, and you can see here the vast area covered by this lake. This is no doubt that it was the largest artificial lake of that time, and it was the largest artificial lake in Asia. In the 14th century, the tank in Hauz Khas, Delhi, was constructed by Iltutmish for supplying water to Siri Fort area. And here this is a Siri Fort area, and the water was supplied to this fort area, and this is a Hauz Khas, that water reservoir has been created by Iltutmish. Now, what are dams and how do they help us in conserving and managing water? So we need to understand how they are helping, how they are helpful to us. Dams were traditionally built to impound rivers and rainwater that could be used later to irrigate agricultural field. So the main purpose was controlling or managing the rainwater to do agriculture. Today dams are built not just for irrigation For the electricity generation, water supply for domestic and industrial uses, flood control, recreation, inland navigation, and fish breeding. So these number of purposes are attached to this projects, the dam projects. Hence, dams are now referred to as multi-purpose project as they satisfy these many different purposes, these many needs, where the many uses of the impounded water are integrated with one another. We can see these, and of course these are in practice. For example, in the Satluj Beach river basin, the Bhakra Nangal project water is being used both for hydel production and irrigation. So this is an example of multi-purpose river valley project. Similarly, the Hirakud project in Mahanadi basin integrate conservation of water with flood control. Here some example of that type of dams created are given, and about these in detail we'll discuss in the next slides. That is first one, gravity dams. Gravity dams are dams which resist horizontal thrust of water entirely by their own weight. As you can see here, the construction of the dam is this way. The front facing water side is particularly vertical. And here the image, you can see how that dam is constructed, and resembling this structure here. Concrete gravity dams are typically used to block streams through narrow gorges, as their depth means width is not too high, and according to that only this dam has been constructed and water is controlled. Material of construction is concrete, rubber, masonry. Now, arc dams. An arc dam is curved dam. You can see here the curve. This curve, you can see how that curve has been created. Which is dependent upon arc action of its strength. You know that due to this arc only this will be having higher strength. Arc dams are thinner, therefore require less material than any other type of dam. Arc dams are good for sites that are narrow and have a strong abutment, means there is a strong force from the back side and the opening is very narrow, and that places this arc dams can be constructed easily, and afterward whatever the water is released in a control way, that can be seen here in this phase. Now, buttress dam. Here buttress dams are dams in which the face is held up by a series of support. You can see here a series of supports are there, as here arc dam is constructed, and along with this series of supports can be seen here in this real dam example and picture, and see here how that supports are being given by these different pillars. The buttress dam can take many forms. The face may be flat or curved. Here in this picture it is curved. It can be flat also. Material of construction usually concrete, timber, steel, etc. Embankment dams. The embankment dams are massive dams made of earth or rock. So here, generally these embankment dams are created to control the river water, to control flood. They rely on their weight and resist what flow of water. Means that water will not go out of the river bank, and this will help to reduce the flood chances. Material of construction, generally earth and rocks, means there the rock materials are used, and the earth, you can say soil, and you can say mitti, soil is used generally in this embankment dams. You can see here that how has been created. Here not very strong dam is created are required, but of course a proper management is required. You can see here this from both the side that compacted rock fill is there, and in the middle there is a clay core, so that the seepage of water cannot be there from this river, and that way it reduce or it prevent the water go out of the river. Now rock fill dams. These types of dams are made out of rocks and gravel and constructed so that water cannot leak from the upper stream side and through the middle of the structure, and that way it is best suited in the area where rocks are around. So as you can see, from all around there rocks and mountains are there, and from one side this kind of rock fill dam has been created, and then it can be used for different purposes by releasing water in a controlled way. So that way this is also used for multi-purpose project. So this was all about for today's students. We'll meet in the next module with some more topics from the chapter. Till then, bye all of you. Thank you. Have a nice day, students.